They're looking for a superstar midfielder. Right on the list right now is Kobbie Mainoo. That's what Manchester United fans are saying. For some silly-ass reason, Chelsea hold him as a signing in their dream signings list, and I have no idea why.
If they're tapping up Maresca between now and when Pep leaves, and Maresca gets fired by Chelsea in that time, which is a possibility, Geese, especially if you don't have a good season, do City still look at Maresca? Everything's 100 million in Chelsea's world. Can I just say that? Elliot Anderson, 100 mil. Adam Wharton, 100 mil. You know, I wouldn't be shocked if Kobbie Mainoo was 100 mil in Chelsea's world.
Right, boys, we've got some exciting news. Chelsea are about to make a significant midfield summer signing. The return of the king is also something we're going to be talking about, which is Thiago Silva, the possibility of him coming back as a player. We're going to touch on that. But before we do, Neil, breaking news. Enzo Maresca on his way to Manchester City. Thoughts?
Yeah. Seen that, and actually it has been verified, Mark, and confirmed. There has been contact, but the caveat, Mark, is so obviously they're looking to replace Pep after his contract runs out, which so it won't be this season, it will be the following season. And so, and I get it, look, Maresca, Pep disciple and all of that stuff, but he's not the only Pep disciple. I have a question for you. A lot can change between now and when Pep leaves City, right? Because he's still got one more year left on his contract. If they're tapping up Maresca between now and when Pep leaves, and Maresca gets fired by Chelsea in that time, which is a possibility, Geese, especially if you don't have a good season, do City still look at Maresca? Because I'm not sure, you know.
Look, let's talk quite quickly about Pep Guardiola. Right, but super quickly, because if he wins a major title or a major trophy like the Premier League or the Champions League, there's a huge possibility that he could leave. He wants to leave the club in a high situation, in a winning situation, which is understandable. He wants to right his wrongs to last season, which was, well below under par for him. So he's decided to stay, and he wants to win. So he's going for it. He wants to win something big. If he wins, I think he will go. And that's why I think that Manchester City are anticipating that this could be his last season, especially if they win a big silverware, and they're already starting to make preparations for a new manager. There's a few people on the list, but high on the list is Enzo Maresca. Why?
They've made contact, dude. It's verified. It's verified. He's one of his disciples. But Mark, before you continue, are you saying that if Pep wins the title or Champions League this season, he's going to break his contract? Do you think he would?
Go. I think he's going to go. I think he needs a bit of a break, and you can tell he still looks up for it. Every game is a final for him. That's how he should look. But he's been a high-profile manager for how long? 6-7 years. It's the longest he's ever been at a club.
It's longer than that, bro. He's been there. It's going to be 9 years, Geese.
That's a long time. That's coming up to a decade. I think that if he wins something, he's gone. You agree with me, right? He's not going to stay an extra year. He's going to go on a high.
Honestly, I don't know. He could go out on a high next year, or he could just go, you know what, I'm going to see out my contract, win it this year and win it next year. Now, let's say, for example, Mark, he doesn't win the Champions League this year and he doesn't win the Premier League this year. Then he's going to see out his contract. In my book, he's going to see out his contract. And then you're looking at, okay, well, let me ask you a different question. I understand why City have looked at Maresca because as a potential replacement, because he is a Pep disciple, but he's not the only Pep disciple, yeah? There's also other disciples out there like Arteta, who's at Arsenal, fine. But there's also Vincent Kompany, right? He was Pep's captain, leader, legend. He was his John Terry, right? And he's gone to Bayern Munich. He's won one league title already. He'll win another one this season. He may even add a Champions League by the time that Pep leaves. Let me ask you, if Pep stays and sees out his contract, which is another year and a half, who's got a better chance of succeeding Pep as manager? Is it Vincent Kompany or is it Enzo Maresca?
It's Enzo Maresca. Why would
In 2 years' time?
Geezer.
If Pep sees out his contract.
Vincent Kompany was sold a project by Bayern Munich. They are looking for a young manager who's exciting, who has huge potential for the long term. Usually Bayern Munich managers, the Bayern Munich club, like a manager to stay there on the long run. It's a long project. And what you've seen so far from Vincent Kompany, why would I think he would want to leave one of the biggest clubs in the world? He's won the league.
To go to Man City, bro. That's why. To go to home.
You're still talking. Hold on. On my opinion, Man City is not a bigger club than Bayern Munich. Now, I'm not saying that Bayern Munich is a bigger club than Manchester City. No.
They are.
But you're still...
Munich are a bigger club.
So why would he want to go to Manchester City then?
Because it's Manchester City captain. He bleeds Man City,
so
bro. What are you on about?
He's just started.
They're going to build a statue outside Etihad.
No.
Of Kompany.
Yeah, okay.
Geezer, he loves Man City. That's very different.
He does love Man City, but you're talking about Bayern Munich. He's doing extremely well there. He seems like he's bought into the long-term project. Maresca, on the other hand, has a lot higher chance. He's getting a lot of stick from the pundits, from the fans, from a big portion of the fans. There's a lot of internal discussions with him and his performances, between him and the board. It looks like he's going to be having a big review at the end of this season. That has already confirmed. And when these big reviews by Blueco come up, for example, a Pochettino, this is the beginning of the end for a Chelsea manager when this happens.
So why would City want him then? Let me ask you.
Because there's a lot of context behind it. Okay, you ask the question, then I'll tell you.
If Pep stays and finishes off his contract, Maresca could be God knows where by that point. We don't know if Chelsea get rid of him at the end of the season or not, whatever happens, versus a guy, Kompany over at Munich, who was captain of Man City and might have a Champions League under his belt, as well as 3 straight league titles, because let's face it, he's going to win the league title this year over in the Bundesliga. He'll probably win it next year as well. Who's got a bigger chance? Maresca. Why would City look at Maresca if Maresca's getting fired by Chelsea? Let's say you finish 4th or 5th and you fire him. Okay. I don't know, Geese. Tell me.
Let's look at Maresca. Okay. There's a bit of context because, look, there's a lot of inconsistency with Maresca. Yeah. And a lot of it can also be boiled down to he's a young manager. A young team like Chelsea are very inconsistent because they have very young players. Young players are very inconsistent. And that also applies to the manager. The manager's only been at the job for his entirety as an actual manager for 2.5 years. 1 year at Leicester, a year and a half or a year and a bit at Chelsea. He's still very young. We also don't know. Look, me and you are not fans of Maresca, but there's a lot of talk behind the scenes, okay, in terms of what is Maresca's actual job. He's not, for me, he's definitely not a manager. A manager controls the team. He has a say in the incomings and the outcomes. He doesn't have that. There's also a lot of rumors. Maybe not even that, because there's a lot of rumors that this heavy rotation is coming from the board. So if the board are telling him to rotate the team, what actually is he doing? Because it feels like he's not even able to pick the team.
Oh, that's a rumor. That's a stretch for me, Mark.
No. It's a possibility, right? And it's something that we need to consider because it affects how we judge Enzo Maresca as a manager or as a coach. How much influence does he have on the team, not just as a manager, which he doesn't, but as a coach? How much say does he actually have? It looks like he doesn't even, there's a chance he's not even picking the team, Geezer.
But then don't you think that's a lose-lose, Mark? Because if he's not picking the team, then what is he doing? He's doing nothing. And if he is picking the team, he's getting it wrong.
Neil, think about how well he's done. In his first season at a top-flight club, he's finished 4th. He's over-exceeded expectations.
He's not picking the team, Mark. Okay. It's like Moneyball.
But no doubt, you're right. If this is the case, which could be, but no one could take away that he's built foundations at the club. He has won trophies. He has stabilized the squad. He feels like he has outperformed managers by Blueco For example, a Potter, a Lampard, a Pochettino. He'll feel that he's done better than them. And look at his results. He has done better than them. So
it's if not he hard goes, to do better than Lampard and Potter, mate.
Look, he's still done. When you look at things in all perspectives, I'm not a fan of him, but he has done well. Hence why he was given the chance to, run in the second season at Chelsea. He needs to perform well. He needs to finish 4th or 5th. He needs to get into the Champions League. This may not happen considering how tight the league is at the moment. But why would he go to Manchester City? If he goes to Manchester City and they give him the opportunity to become a manager where he has control and a say in the incomings and the outcomings, he has no restrictions by the Manchester City board in terms of how he rotates his players, which players he actually picks for what game that he wants.
I'm not disputing that, Geese. I'm not disputing that. Why would he go to Man City? It's obvious why he would go to Man City.
Of
course,
settled.
Why he would. But why would Man City go for him is the real question. That's the real question. Why would they go for him?
Because think about it. Look, you said it yourself. He's a disciple of Pep Guardiola, right? So he has very similar philosophies to Pep Guardiola. If Pep Guardiola leaves, they'll be able to bring in someone that knows the team, that knows the club, that knows the academy players, that knows the responsibilities, that knows the pressures of a club like Manchester City. Okay, so
better than company.
Maybe not better than, but forget about company, geezer. It
was just an interesting angle. All I'm saying is who's got a better chance? Because I think there's so long to go, between now and when Pep leaves, unless he does leave the end of summer, which, he could break his contract. There's so many ifs and buts. I'm playing devil's advocate here as well.
Look, I get that. Even if, Enzo Maresca gets sacked by Chelsea, and Pep Guardiola doesn't win any major trophies and he sees out the next year of his contract, it doesn't mean that, you know what, they're not going to take Maresca. Maresca could just take a 1-year sabbatical, and wait for the opportunity or wait for another club to approach it, right? So it's not just like, you know what, he's going to be fired and that's it. Enzo Maresca comes into...
His stock drops if he gets fired, because then he's gone from Leicester City to Chelsea, got fired by Chelsea. You don't get a Man City job based off that. And you've got to follow Pep, arguably the greatest of all time. Definitely.
But who can follow him, Neil? Who can follow him? You're talking about the greatest.
A good point. It's a good point. That's what I'm trying to say. Would you want Maresca to follow him? Would you go? I mean, guys, let us know. Maybe there's other managers.
You know what?
Maybe a Xabi Alonso, maybe a company, maybe... Who knows? I don't know, but I'm not seeing enough from Maresca to warrant him getting the City job. But also, it's just too far away.
It'll be very interesting, Neil.
I think Pep will see out his contract personally. Yeah,
I think if he wins, if Pep wins something big this season, I think he's gone. That's just my opinion. With Maresca, it would be really interesting, bro. I'm not a fan of him so far, but it would be interesting to see how he does if he was a manager and has full control of the team and has a say to bring in specific players that pick it. Like, imagine he went to a team, like Man City, where you're not just going to get young players, and he will have the ability to pick and purchase expensive, experienced, world-class players. How would he do for that team? We don't know yet. We just don't know, because he's too controlled at Chelsea. So look, I'm also playing devil's advocate because I'm not a big fan of Maresca. But as I said, how much control does he have over the team? What is his actual job? Is it just trying to coach the players in the training ground, or is he allowed to pick the players? We just don't know the ins and outs. It's a little bit blurry. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with that. Right, moving on. The return of the king, Thiago Silva. He's going to be leaving Fluminense. He's going to be a free agent in January. Chelsea are exploring the idea of signing him on a short-term basis. For me, I've got a lot to say about this, but I want to know what you think. And also, I know what you're going to say. Oh my God, he's 40. They're not going to sign him. Let's say they make an exception for that and they have the opportunity to purchase Thiago Silva. Is that a good signing? Would that benefit Chelsea? And if so, how would it?
Yeah, I mean, look, they just threw him a retirement party for his 65th birthday the other week. So look, I don't think. Look,
Brilliant, Neil.
Genuinely, Thiago Silva is an absolute legend. He's also like fine wine in many ways. What does he bring? He brings a wealth of experience. He brings back a know-how that he's already been at Chelsea. And he did a cracking job, even when he was, 37 at the time or whatever. But I don't see... You know what? Arsenal did this a while back. You know, they brought back Henry when he wasn't 40, but they brought him back and he came back as a fan and he really helped us in our fight for top four, actually, at the time, because we were struggling. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I think Van Persie left at the time. I can't remember. He come back for a short loan, 6 months he did at us, and he really helped give a boost around the training ground, the players, and that winning mentality that he has. Thiago Silva offers a lot, but that is what he offers. The lot that he offers for me is off the pitch. On the pitch, he's an old man. He's an old man.
I don't care what. No, I disagree. For me, yeah.
You disagree he's an old man?
No. I disagree on the pitch, what you just said. Right, because for me, even right now, guy might be 50. I'll still have him over Badiashile. I'll still definitely have him over Tosin. What Chelsea will get if they manage to sign and bring back Thiago Silva, a leader, a mentor, a person that has winning mentality, a player that loves the club, that has strong ties to Chelsea, strong ties to London. He'll be a fantastic off the pitch, because he'll be bringing a wealth of experience, leadership qualities to this young squad, and on the pitch, bro, he doesn't get injured even right now. As I said, I will still pick his ass over Tosin, over your Badiashile, and he might not be a starter, but for sure he'll be in my squad at least for 6 months, from January to July or whenever the season ends. Geezer, I would love to have him. We need someone in the back, especially after Levi Colwell's ACL injury.
What if, look, you said all that, and I do agree with you to an extent, but what if, devil's advocate, you start him and he plays and he actually has an absolute nightmare because he has fallen off cliff? Don't forget, he hasn't played in the Premier League for a couple of years. He is now 40. At some point, he's as evergreen as he is. There comes a point where you fall off a cliff. And if he does that, okay, Badiashile, Tosin aside, whatever, they're pretty useless, I get, but they're still young. I don't understand, or I do understand, but what if Thiago Silva, you start him and he can't do the job on the pitch? How much does that take away from his influence? How much does that take away from what he can do off the pitch?
No, it won't take anything off the pitch. I mean, you have a look at Chelsea. A few years ago, they brought back Didier Drogba. Mourinho brought him back and specifically said, you're not going to be the main player. You're not going to be the striker. I am bringing you back to help the club, to help teach these players what the winning mentality is. That's why Didier Drogba was brought back, and he's still got a game time here and there. And I think that will apply in the same frame for Thiago Silva. Even if he plays a game and doesn't do well, he'll still be a massive asset off the pitch. Player mentality is massive in top flight football, and right now Chelsea it's hard for me to pick out a frigging leader. He is a megastar leader. He will teach the kids what it's like to play for Chelsea Football Club. Whether he can do it on the pitch, okay, at least he's going to be available. But off the pitch, that in itself is more than valuable. And that's my opinion. Guys, let us know in the comments down below. Especially if you're a Chelsea fan, even if you're not, would you like to see Thiago Silva back at Chelsea, back in the Premier League? Do you think he's going to add...
Nostalgia signing, buddy. Nostalgia.
Maybe you're right. We'll never know unless he actually signs. Guys, let us know down in the comments down below. Would you like to see Thiago Silva back in the Premier League? I would. Neil has his reservations. It's fair, judged on his age, judged on he's been playing in the Brazilian league for a couple of years. But I would love to see him. Let us know in the comments down below, guys. Make sure you find some subscribes if you want to see more content like this. Right, moving on to the exciting transfers that Chelsea could possibly be getting in the summer. They're looking for a superstar midfielder. Whether we're going to get that, we're going to discuss. And right on the list right now is Kobbie Mainoo. Free Kobbie Mainoo. That's what Manchester United fans are saying. For some silly-ass reason, Chelsea hold him as a signing in their dream signings list, and I have no idea why. Because for me personally, my first question would be, what does Kobbie Mainoo actually do? Like, he's not a six. He's a central midfielder. He's supposed to be a box-to-box midfielder. I don't really see his output as anything really effective. I mean, do you agree with me? Kobbie Mainoo to Chelsea. What does he bring? Can he bring anything?
I love going against you, but I don't think I can on this one. Kobbie Mainoo, it shouldn't be at the top of a list of a club the size of Chelsea that have aspirations, in my opinion. I don't think there's enough body of work. I don't, exactly like you, fully know what he does. And I don't think he's even, I don't know, mate. I find Kobbie Mainoo such an odd focal point for a signing that you're trying to make as a statement signing.
If he comes to Chelsea,
who's going to replace, bro? You've got Caicedo, Lavia. Look, Lavia might be glass, but I'm actually hoping, even as a gooner, because I really like Lavia, I'm hoping he stays injury-free for a period of time, because if he does, everyone will see a real gem. They'll see a real talent, and football wins above anything else, yeah? So I'd like to see Lavia fit and healthy, because if you see Lavia fit and healthy, Kobbie Mainoo can't lace his boots. Kobbie Mainoo can't lace Caicedo's boots. Kobbie Mainoo can't even lace Enzo Fernandez's boots right now, and I'm not a massive Enzo Fernandez fan. So this guy is not a statement signing, Chelsea. You can't be serious. If you want to make a statement...
It's not a superstar signing. Yeah.
It's not even a star signing. It's not even a super signing. It's a dead signing. Tell me I'm wrong.
No, you're not wrong. And you know what? To be honest with you, I don't think we're going to get him, because his preferred destination is Napoli. And I'm sure he's going to go over to Napoli and be like Ruben Loftus-Cheek and smash it over there. Yeah, because it's Serie A. There you go. Yeah, he's never going to... I don't see how he's going to replace... You can't put him as a six. He's definitely not a six. So replacing Lavia, I said, that's out of the question. The only place that he can do is take over the number 10, but he's not going to do that over Enzo Fernandez. And I'm in agreement with you.
Palmer or if Esteval goes in there. There's too much competition. Give it a rest. Give it a rest. On to the next one, Mark. No.
Absolutely. But let us know in the comments down below, especially if you're a Chelsea fan, would you like to see Kobbie Mainoo? Are we missing something? Because if we are, please let us know. What does Kobbie Mainoo, what's his main strengths? What, getting out of tight spaces and doing a little short pass here and there and scoring the odd goal? 1, 2, 2, 3 years.
Sitting on the bench, mate. Give it a rest.
That needs to be me, Neil.
I'm really not a fan, bro.
Clearly.
I'm really not a fan. This guy... He doesn't even play. Why are we even talking about him?
Oh, he's linked to Chelsea. Okay, fine.
Yeah, I know, I get that. But yeah, why are Chelsea talking about him? Anyway.
Okay, fair. Right now, moving on then. The next linked transfer for Chelsea Football Club is Adam Wharton, the pass master, the next English Xabi Alonso. What's your thoughts about Adam Wharton, bro?
Who does he replace?
He will give Enzo Fernandez a rest, because right now Caicedo and Enzo Fernandez are being run to the ground. It feels like they need to play pretty much every single important game. Andre Santos at the moment, he has a huge amount of potential. He's in the first team for Brazil. Carlo Ancelotti loves him, but for Chelsea, he's just not doing it on a consistent basis. So to give these types of players a rest, the Enzo Fernandez's, the Caicedos, okay, he doesn't play in Caicedo's role, but you need to rest these type of players. You need to bring on, Chelsea need to bring on additional quality Premier League experienced players. That's who he does. That's who he could replace. And these players need a rest, as I said. There you go.
Do you think this is in your top 3 priorities? Bearing in mind, you've just said Santos, yeah? You've just said you like Cole Palmer in the middle. You like Caicedo. You like Lavia. You like Enzo, well, you may not like Enzo Fernandez, but regardless, he's playing well for you. There's a lot of competition. Is it in Chelsea's top 3 priorities to get in Wharton and add strength in depth?
Firstly, that's a little bit of a broad question because we're talking about midfielders that Chelsea could sign in the summer. I don't think a midfielder is a priority for Chelsea. I think that getting a good quality, decent, it can be young, a striker and an experienced centre back. These are the priorities. We're not talking about that. We're talking about adding additional numbers and quality to Chelsea's midfield. That's what we're talking about in this video.
How much? Okay. So how much more? How much is he going to cost you?
£100 million.
Yeah, exactly. Do you think Adam Wharton's £100 million player, or is he valued as that because he's English?
He's valued at that because he's English. But I am a big fan of Adam Wharton. If his valuation, his fees wouldn't cost, he's a great player. I really like him. In fact, bro, I think I would have him maybe instead of Enzo Fernandez. I'm not talking about Kobbie Mainoo. I'm talking about Adam Wharton. There's levels to this. I think that you can rest Enzo, and this guy could give the same output, or if not an even better output than Enzo Fernandez, right? He's a very similar type of player to Xabi Alonso. Xabi Alonso, a team like that, a player like that, teams need someone that can control the game. I think he has the ability. He has a better ability to control the tempo than Enzo Fernandez does. Maybe he doesn't get an assist or a goal maybe as regularly as Enzo Fernandez, but there is a player like that Chelsea could use because they don't have any midfielders like that. That has the ability to control the pace of the game. That's the ability to spray quick balls forward as well as short balls forward in a controlled type of manner. I think that
it's a bit criminal, Mark.
It is
to say that, comparing him to Xabi Alonso, by the way. But anyway, carry on.
I said he's an English type of Xabi Alonso player, and I think there's a little bit of similarities there that I have the right to say. He is a pass master. I do rate him. Do I think Chelsea are going to get him? I mean, they like spending stupid money on young players. It'll be wrong of me to say no, that's not going to happen, but it could.
It's a nonsense comment, though, Mark. It doesn't make it. It's like, okay, I'm the English version of Virat Kohli, so that means what? I'm going to score loads of runs in cricket. Like, it doesn't work like that. I do look. He's a good player, Adam Wharton, but there's levels to this. Xabi Alonso, English version of Xabi Alonso. What does that mean? I don't know, mate. Okay, look, I think he's going to cost you a lot of money if you get him. I do like Adam Wharton. I could see him being at Chelsea. I just don't think that would be the right way to spend 100 mil.
Guys, let us know in the comments down below. I would like to see him at Chelsea Football Club. I think that he can play there. There is a spot for him. He may not play every single game, but if you're a Chelsea fan or if you're any type of fan, do you reckon that will be a good signing for Chelsea Football Club? Let us know in the comments down below. Right, the final transfer link for Chelsea Football Club is Elliot Anderson, valued at £100 million. What's your thoughts, bro, about this, G?
Oh, man. Chelsea... everything's 100 million in Chelsea's world. Can I just say that? Elliot Anderson, 100 mil. Adam Wharton, 100 mil. I wouldn't be shocked if Kobbie Mainoo was 100 mil in Chelsea's world. You know what I mean? Enzo Fernandez, 100 mil. Caicedo is quality. So
he's worth it.
Yeah, he's worth Caicedo. It. Yeah, but look, I don't know, man. Again, okay, you're linked to Elliot Anderson. What does he add? What does he bring to Chelsea that you're missing? Because that's what I look for, right? If you're gonna bring someone in, can he bring something that you don't already have? Now he brings a directness for sure. Yeah. He brings goals. Does he bring more goals than Enzo Fernandez? Unlikely, actually, if you look at the stats. Does he bring more directness than what Caicedo's adding to his game? Unlikely, as it happens. Does he bring anything that Romeo Lavia brings to the table? Not really. If you compare him metric for metric against and just eye test against those three guys, I don't know that he brings anything to add significant value to what you've already got. But you tell me.
Well, Actually, my views actually contradict yours because he actually ranks in the Premier League amongst one of the elites for lying, breaking carries, for successful take-ons. He's a highly effective distributor of the ball, as well as being even, fantastic under pressure in terms of ball recoveries, tackles, interceptions. He has one of the best stats for that. That's what you're going to be bringing. Like he's as well as going forward, he brings a lot of defensive capabilities to the team.
Better than Lavia?
I think he
Better
is
than
a true.
Caicedo?
Yeah, but hold on. Lavia's always injured. You can't rely on him. Caicedo needs a break from time to time. And you know what? Even if Chelsea do sign Elliot Anderson, he won't be placed as a as the number 6, even though he does have defensive capabilities that Chelsea do need. He's an all-action kind of Declan Rice type of player. Okay, not as good as Declan Rice. Relax. Okay?
No, it's cool.
I'm
it's
not
fair.
saying that.
Yeah, that's fair.
But he can be up in terms of all three players that we've actually just mentioned, Kobbie Mainoo, Adam Wharton. For me, he would be my pick of the bunch. He's had a super successful season last season, but it's only been one season. I mean, I think he left Newcastle, his boyhood club, the beginning of last season. He's won one amazing season. Hence why Man U, hence why Man City, and all these big clubs are coveting him right now, including Chelsea. But just because you have one successful, amazing, impactful season doesn't mean that you're going to be able to, consistently do that. Look at Carlos Baleba from Brighton last year. He was one of the most coveted players and one of the best players in the Premier League. This season, it looks like he's dropped off a little bit for whatever XYZ reasons. Maybe it shows where his head's really at. But that still could apply to Elliot Anderson. Just because you have one great season doesn't mean your next season is going to be great. I think it's a little bit too early just to say, oh, you know what, he's worth £100 million and he's going to be
100%.
doing X, Y, and Z.
100% agree with you.
I get it.
You can't have a midfield where you've spent
now,
100 mil on Caicedo, 100 mil on Enzo, and then you're going to get 100 mil on Anderson. Focus on, I know it's a big if, but if Lavia stays fit, and I know it's a big if, this guy's basically like adding to strength and depth. You shouldn't be spending 100 mil on just adding. He looks good, don't get me wrong, he's quality, but I don't know, mate. I don't think there's anything that he really brings that really elevates Chelsea. And for £100 million player, you want an elevation. Just my take.
Yeah, I mean, look, Chelsea are not going to spend 100 million on an experienced player. Yeah, or a world-class player. It's just not going to happen. That's just not their strategy. It wouldn't be surprised if, even though Chelsea in the summer, they spend stupid money like this on one of these types of players who I don't think any of them are worth 100 million, especially Kobbie Mainoo and Adam Wharton. Let's see what happens. Chelsea, I still do 100% believe Chelsea do need another midfielder, considering some of the midfielders right now just really aren't cutting it. Guys, let us know in the comments down below. Should Chelsea, who would you rather have if you're a Chelsea fan? Or even if you're not, let us know. Would you rather have Kobbie Mainoo? No. Wharton or Elliot Anderson? We would love to know. What do you think they're going to bring to Chelsea or whoever they go to? What qualities do you reckon they're going to bring? Will they be an asset and will they be successful in their next move? Make sure you're fine self-subscribe to the channel and like the video if you do like our style of content, and click this video right here to see more of our madness. Thank you for watching. See you in a bit.